Oh, don't be shy. We're going to make the perfect team, you and I can just feel it. So, without further ado, let us begin our first project.
So what's going on, you beautiful people? In this video I'm going to be going over the Wish machine in Once Human. So you've probably been playing Once Human, you think it's an absolutely incredible game. Like myself, I've got into the building mechanics as well, which I don't mind going over some building tips once I get a little bit more used to it. But in this video I'm going to be going over the actual Wish machine because I think it's something that you need to know, and it's a way for you to get the best equipment in this game. That could be legendary blueprints for armor and for weapons. Have I unlocked any as of right now? No, but the machine that we're looking at, or we're on about, is actually this machine right here. So if we look into the Wish machine, we can see by pressing F that we have got these things which are called like loads of little game modes, and you've got the, for instance, the first one, which is Echoes from the Rift. And you've got a prize pool that contains 20 rewards. The prize pool can be automatically reset once it's emptied, and you can also manually reset it when an S grade prize is drawn. And then you've got multiple other ones that you can see here going along the line. And then here you've got this star Chrom. Now this star Chrom is what you need in order to be able to put into the machine in hopes of getting a really cool item. Now what items can you get? You can see here you can randomly receive a legendary weapon blueprint, epic weapon blueprint, epic armor blueprint, rare weapon blueprints, rare armor blueprints, legendary armor blueprint fragments, and then also you've got the epic weapon blueprint fragments there that you can get, as well as epic armor blueprint fragments. Now I've only got 4,000 coins, and to play this, every time you play it costs 1,000 coins. Or you could save up your coins and actually just buy the desired blueprint that you want. So you can see, obviously, you got your pistols, you got your SMGs, you got your rifles, you got your sniper rifles, light machine guns, crossbows, heavy firearms, and then you've obviously got your status blueprints, which these are armors. But not only are they armors, you can see here on the screen that they've got effects. So I'm going to go from the top to bottom of everything that you can get in this machine, so you can kind of decide if you want to get any of it, and do you want to save up 8,000 to get it, or do you want to go ahead and get it by doing a spin and hopefully getting the one you want. Quickly, before we do that, how do we get these points? Well, if we literally click here and we click here, we can see we can get star Chrom used on the Wish machine to get gear blueprints obtainable from seasonal goals, territorial purification from stellar planular shop, and special scenario based gameplay. So here, to start off with, the seasonal goals, complete the seasonal goals to get large quantities of star Chrom. These are the seasonal, so you can come to the menu where you've got the phase, seasonal info and stuff like that. You've got the seasonal goals, and a new one opens every week or every 5 days. I'm not too sure how it works exactly, but let's just say when we're on this one right now, when it's at 1 star, you would obtain obviously 400 plus meme points plus specialization cleaner, and then when it hits 2 stars, you'll be able to get 600 plus 10 meme points. I'm calling it meme, I'm not too sure. And then when it hits 3 stars, you get this. Now how do we get this up to 3 stars? Simple. All we have to do is literally do the quests that we see on here. So reach calibration +4 on any weapon, own 1 armor calibration +2, cook 5 dishes, do any of these adventure, activate 10 teleportation towers, help a meta-human who is critically injured, go fishing and catch 5 types of fish, find us. You know, you've got all of these missions, and all of them give you little items like the Mitsuko marks, and these Mitsuko marks all stack up till you can get to the 3 stars, which you need 340 Mitsuko marks in order to get that, meaning you'll get a total of 2,000 of the star Chrom, which you can obviously gamble, or you can go ahead and actually wait till you got 8,000 and get it. Now there is other ways you can get the star Chroms. So not only can you get it from here and wait till the next part to open and get it then from the next one, so on and so forth. As we can see, it progressively gets more and more. It does change actually throughout the periods, but there is other ways. Quickly, if we just go back in here and quickly collect on this, we can see we've got territorial purification. You can gain star Chrom by performing territory purification and purifying 40 eclipse cortexes or chaotic Cortexes each week. The Prime War, take part in a Prime War and you'll receive large quantities of Star Chrom if you are successful during the first round of each regional Prime War. And then you got the Stellar Planula shop, redeem Stellar Planula in the shop for Star Chrom. Now I did go over to the shop and I did try and look for wherever this Star Chrom is, and I can't seem to find Planula anywhere here. So it's a bit odd. We can see obviously we got these here, the weekly items, which gives you 50 Mitsuko marks, which is pretty cool, and you can get one every week. You can purchase it, and then you've got this one here that's still not seeing any Planula in here, nor in the battle pass. But in the battle pass you can also get quite a lot of these points. So going back to the start, from the start of the battle pass we can get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4, 5, 6. So we can get 6,000 Star Chrom from the battle pass alone as well. In the top ups, obviously nothing in the events. Also, I'm not too sure if you can get anything from here. We'll have a look. I don't believe you can. What's this? Survival, any 2 crops? No, there's absolutely nothing in here. What about in the best ones? Do we get anything? We can't even see the best ones to see if we can get it. But just looking at this one, we can only get Stardust. Don't look like we can get it. In the events, can we get any Star Chrom? No. Gather friends, do we get any Star Chrom? No, it doesn't look like we get any from gathering friends. We can't get any Star Chrom from here either. And then we can't from the Twitch drops nor there. So literally we can only get Star Chrom the methods that we've just seen. So anyway, let's look at the blueprints and see what they all do. So I've currently got the R500 Memento BP that I got from an invitee. I'm going to be getting my own. I'm going to be trying to get an own legendary weapon. I'm going to give you my invite code so you can get it from me. But as of right now, I do not have one. Now, each one of these do have bonus effects that you can see. Some are status, some are range, some of AoE, and then you've got the purples. I have managed to get one of the blueprints, but it's not a legendary, so I don't really want to share that. But the one I did get was the Soccer outside of BP, this one here. It's not a bad weapon because it's got weak spot damage, crit damage, and crit rate. However, I would much prefer to have a legendary version of that. So looking at this one, at the pistol, you've got the 4% crit rate, weak spot damage, 65% and crit damage. All weapons are going to have that at this top. But the main things we want to look at is the perks. So hit grants 36% chance to trigger fast gunner. Chance doubles with a weak spot hit when fast gunner is triggered. 1 bullets will be reloaded to your magazine. Each shot has a 40% chance to consume 1 more bullets. When extra bullets are consumed, attacks plus 80%. We got the D50 Jaws BP. I'm only going to go over the legendary ones in here, guys. I'm not going to go over the epics because I'm trying to get the legendaries. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's great to have the epics, but the legendary is going to be way better. We can see here with the Jaws, it's got every 4 hits will trigger unstable bomber. Crit hits count as 1+ hits. And after defeating an enemy, blast damage 30% for 12 seconds. Unstable bomber can crit, and crit rate is 25%. This looks pretty cool as well, this pistol. I would be happy to get either of these as my own blueprint. In terms of shotguns, we've got the ACS 12 Horizon BP. Really cool. Don't die on it. 70% chance to trigger power surge with a hit, but will not inflict power surge status. Power surge can deal crit hit. Power surge crit hit rate is plus 15%. When power surge is triggered, power surge crit damage 15% for 6 seconds. Effects can stack up to 10 times. Power surge damage factor plus 15%. Then we've got the Rain in Cash BP, the DB12, and this is also quite a nice looking shotgun. I'm not going to lie. This has got reloading triggers Fortress Warfare cooldown by 10%. The longer Fortress Warfare is maintained, the higher the attack, up to 40%. While in Fortress Warfare, crit rate is 30% increased, and while in Fortress Warfare, damage reduction plus 30%. So this is a really, really good shotgun. I mean, everything that we're going to be seeing in here is pretty darn good. Now we're on the DBSG, which I do like the look of this shotgun as well. The Doombringer. Now I do like the weapon skins, but I'm not a massive fan of the armor skins. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So it's got 65 chance to trigger the bull's eye when hitting the enemy. Defeating a marked enemy grants attack plus 6 for 60 seconds up to 5 stacks. After triggering the bullseye, damage reduction plus 5% for 8 seconds up to 4 stacks, and crit hit rate is 30% increase when hitting marked enemies. Then the SMG, we have got the MPS5 Kuma Wink BP. These SMGs are probably not the coolest for me, but that it might be someone else's style. It's got 25% chance of triggering bounce with a hit. Bounce triggers factor for that shot is 60% based on weapon trigger chance. With weapons weak spot hit, bounce base damage increased by 50%, and when magazine capacity is below 50%, bounce trigger count +1. We've got the outer space, yet again, not amazing looking. Interstellar from Call of Duty or something. We've got 25% chance to trigger power surge when hitting an enemy. After defeating an enemy, power surge trigger factor +30% based on weapon trigger chance for 12 seconds. After reloading, power surge trigger factor 40% based on weapon trigger chance for 3 seconds. Power surge trigger factor +40% based on weapon trigger stance. Then we got the little jaws. Hitting enemies 15 times triggers unstable bomber. Unstable bomber delays 0.3 seconds when hitting enemies affected by unstable bomber. The current unstable bomber final damage plus 10% weak spot hit. Double the damage increase. For every 0.1 seconds of unstable bomber delay, unstable bomber damage is increased by 20%. For the rifles, we've got the stock of the last Valor BP. 4% chance to trigger shrapnel with a hit. Crit hits count as 2 hits. Crit hits grant shrapnel trigger chance +1 for 1 second. Shrapnel crit damage is +30 seconds. We got the Abyss Glance. Hitting enemies 20 times triggers Frost Vortex. Weak spots hits count as 2 hits. The closer to the center of the Frost Vortex, the higher the Frost Vortex damage, up to 200% frost damage. Then for the snipers, we've got 8% chance to trigger bounce when hitting a weak spot. When bounce hits a weak spot, there's a 35% chance for it to continue to ricochet. If bounce does not defeat an enemy or there is no target, the next 1 bullet weapon damage is increased by 20% up to 5 stacks. Bounce will prioritize enemies with higher HP. And we got the bullseye. Sorry, I didn't actually show you this, and I don't even think I went around these to show you what these look like. I kept it on the screen. The last one was this one that I didn't show you. Right, back to that. Now we're on to this sniper. It looks really cool. It's got 70% chance to trigger the bullseye with a weak spot hit. After switching weapon, the first hit will trigger bullseye. That's pretty cool. So that's pretty easy to trigger. That's not a bad sniper. With a hit, weak spot damage is 15% increase for 10 seconds. Effects can stack up to 3 times. After defeating an enemy with a weak spot hit, attack +15% for 20 seconds. Now we can see there with a hit, weak spot damage is 10 seconds, can stack up to 3 times, meaning that can be a total of 45% extra weak spot damage. Really good sniper. And also all you have to do is just switch out to it for it to activate. Light machine guns, we got the boom BP. It's 18% chance to trigger burn with a hit. Killing enemy effects by burn causes an explosion that deals blaze damage of 300% PSI intensity. The explosion will inflict 1 stack of burn on hit targets. Blaze damage increased by 30%. That's really good, that LMG. I like that. We got the Predator BP. This is what it looks like. It's really cool. It looks like the bald eagle, and it's got 40% chance to trigger fast gunner when hitting the enemy. Whenever fast gunner stacks reach a multiple of 5, gain infinite ammo for 0.5 seconds. Hitting the same target consecutively grants weapon damage 0.5% with each hit up to 2%. Effects reset when the target is changed. When the remaining bullets is more than 40% of the magazine capacity, attack is 50%. Wow. That's pretty strong. The crossbow, we've got a legendary crossbow. I like that. And it's got an optic on it and does big base damage. Obviously, it only fires 1 bullet at a time, but it's fine. I mean, the firing rate of this is 500 and this is only 125. So it's not the fastest of weapons, but it can hit quite big. Get temporary boost of reload speed +6. Crit rate +10% when hitting a target. Effects can stack up to 3 times, so we can get 30% extra crit rate with this crossbow. And get max stacks when defeating a target. Full stacks trigger unstable bomber when target is hit. We've got the heavy firearm blueprint, and that's an epic, so we're not too interested. Now in the armors, we've got the yellow paint mask. Defeating enemies will generate EMP, dealing power surge 1 time to enemies in the area. After triggering power source, crit rate 35% for 3 seconds. We've got the stealth walker. Looks like something out of Dune. Force Vortex collapse in the center and keeps pulling in 120% of enemies within Frost Vortex. We've got the Doyen's Cloak. When the frozen effects ends, deal frost damage equal to 50 of the total damage you dealt to target during the frozen. When the frozen effects ends, deal frost damage equal to 50 of the total damage you dealt to the target during the frozen period. Moving down, we got the explosive front top BP. Unstable bomber delays plus 0.3 seconds of stable bomber damage for +30%. We've got the Shaman Vulture top. And it's got after triggering unstable bomber, crit rate is +35% for 3 seconds. Oh wow. So if you got this jacket, right, and you got that weapon, what one was it which had the unstable bomber? this one, you got that SMG with that flipping... Was there any others? That SMG or this pistol with that armor, you are absolutely laughing because you're going to have major crit rate. Then you got the hardy gloves at full stack of burn will cause an explosion that deals blaze damage of 300% PSI intensity, but it does remove all stacks of burn, so that's not the greatest. When affected by burn, weapon damage is increased by plus 15% and in crit hit rate by 15%. That's not bad. They're not bad gloves. Then you've got the epic. We're not too bothered about that. Moving on to the other legendary, shrapnel trigger count plus 1, max shrapnel target parts plus 1, shrapnel damage plus 120. Bounce has a 100% chance to bounce again upon a hit, dealing 100% bounce damage. They're really good for a bounce build. Bounce trigger count 1. After triggering the bullseye, the next 1 bullets count as weak spot hits, even if they do not hit the weak spot damage plus 30% to enemies affected by the bullseye. Really cool. Tactical combat shoes. When hitting marked enemies, there is a 40% chance to automatically reload 1 ammo and recover 1% of lost HP. Hard tactical boots automatically refills 1 bullet, increases fire rate by 15% when the Fortress Warfare. So you literally stack these with the weapons and you're going to have some really good builds. Fortress Warfare only affects self. When in Fortress Warfare attacks, 25% increase. And then we got the Dust Mask. When triggering Fast Gunner, there is a 50% chance to automatically reload 1 bullet. And then we've got the Oasis Mask. Fast Gunner max stacks plus 10 and attack plus 1 per stack. That's pretty cool. Moving down, we have actually got armor sets. So we can see here by having more of the sets means you get more abilities. So this is what we really want. Now, I don't need to go through every single one. I just need to go through 1 per set. So the Lone Wolf set, as we can see here, we can get magazine capacity plus 10%, crit rate plus 5%, and get 1 stacks of Lone Shadow with every 2 weapon crit hits. Lone Shadow crit damage plus 6% for 30 seconds. Effect can stack up to 8 times. So 8 times 6, we can get literally 40 odd percent extra crit hit damage. So we get a crit rate build with this armor on. We're going to do some serious damage, and increases max Lone Shadow stacks to 10 after a kill, and crit rates plus 8% for 2 seconds. So get Lone Shadow with this and you are getting a really cool build. The Renegade set, we can see here, reload speed is plus 50%, weak spot damage plus 10%. So this is more of, so when we see weak spot damage, we know it's more PvE build. So I'm on a PvE server, so this is really good. So reload speed, obviously weak spot damage, hitting the same enemy consecutively grants 1 stack of Archer's Focus, increasing weak spot damage by 4% up to 10 stacks. Archer Focus stacks are halved when the target is changed. When reloading, for every 1% of weak spot hit from the previous magazine, load an extra 0.6 bullets up to 30%. The Savior set, medicine cooldown is minus 20%. When HP is above 70%, weapon and status damage is increased by 10%. That's pretty cool. When HP is below 30%, automatically use the least potent activator in the backpack, cooldown 40 seconds. After using an activator, movement speed plus 20%, all damage plus 20% of cloak, plus 20% damage reduction, torso and limbs. I mean, that looks pretty good, but I don't know how good it'd be. Maybe more of a PvP set. Now we're on the Shelterer set. And then we've got status damage reduction, element damage, blaze, frost, shock, blast. Each weapon hit grants 1 stack of deviant energy. Every stack from the deviant energy grants 1%. Elemental damage, blaze, frost, shock, blast. Effects can stack up to 20 times. Reloading removes half of the total stacks and increases max deviant energy stack by 10. Grants 2 additional stacks when hitting a weak spot. Then we got the Storm Weaver set, which does look pretty cool. It's got rolling stamina cost minus 20%, magazine capacity plus 15%, taken damage grants a stack of powered armor, damage reduction plus 4% for 10 seconds. Effects can stack up to 6 times. Rolling consumes 3 stacks of powered armor and triggers an explosive that knocks back surrounding enemies for each enemy hit. HP plus 5% up to 20% cooldown 10 seconds. This is really good. This is more of a AoE, getting rid of ads. I like that, especially on raids. Then we got the Bastille set, which we can see here. When HP is above 70%, weapon damage is increased by 10%. A reload speed plus 20%. Stay crouched and immobile for 0.5 seconds to enter Bastille state, which grants a plus 40% weapon damage upon exiting Bastille state. Sprinting is disabled for 3 seconds. The stamina consumption is increased by 100%. 3 seconds after exiting Bastille state, gain 1 stack of armor per second up to 60 stacks. While in Bastille state, each stack of armor provides a shield equal to 1% of max HP. The shield drops to 0 during Bastille state. You gain 30% vulnerability effect. Okay, so this is really cool. I mean, for me personally, I would like to get the unstable bomber one, I think. Because obviously we get the damage, weak spots hit double, damage increase as well. That's what I like. Obviously, we can go for other stuff. We can go for more crit hit chance, but it doesn't have other things. It's got shrapnel, but there weren't really anything here that was bouncing off the shrapnel effect. So for me, it wasn't anything that great. What I didn't say though is I didn't say how you can get all this. If I quickly just go into your cradle, you go memetics, I think it's called, and then you go over to crafting. Sorry, it's not crafting, it's logistics. You go down to the third tab and you can buy wish machine. All it was I believe 3 points. Very easy to get, and I believe you only need to invest in 3 things in this tab. So we've done that, and then we managed to get the wish machine. Now let's go over to it, and I'm actually, rather than going to save up for the points for the sakes of the video, I'm going to gamble to see what I can get. Now we can buy pieces of this set for 3,000 each, so if you are looking for one of these sets, maybe it's worth you doing the 369 12,000 tokens and actually getting hold of one of these sets that you know you're definitely going to use, because doing it this way, you haven't got the greatest of chance of getting it. We can see there, I want to do that one, but this season prize pool is not available yet as these. So you could wait out for the Scar, or you can just go down this one and just hope you get lucky, and that's what I'm going to do in this video for you guys. That was an absolute waste of points where I could have actually got something that was worth it. So let me know what you think of the video. What other stuff would you like me to go over in this game? Like, follow, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Wishes, of course. Why do you think they call me Mr. Wish? So, what is it that you crave? A powerful new weapon? Or a tasteful new garment, perhaps? Just say the word. And for a few stars,